Exactly the opposite. Calling humans by their YouTube channel name is taking the parasocial a bit too far. It's weird to call someone or be called by your YouTube channel name. Wait, why is it calling him Destiny here? Chat with Destiny? Shouldn't you say chat with Steven?
Have no mental health issues. Gaslight, because it's not no, it's significantly less, and yes, they do. They don't have West Baltimore. They don't have...
Wait,
let's dismiss those pro-gun talking points. They don't have to be pro-gun. They could be pro-defense. You get to exist and defend yourself. By the way, I'm going to go ahead and drop this link. I'm going to go ahead and drop this link in the comment section. Yeah, I know we're going over. I don't care. It needs to be done. Here's a link to this article so you guys can follow along from home. And by the way, this article is truly insane.
You guys, by you guys, he means like himself.
And it starts with just the headline of the article, of course. A prescription to dismiss those quote-unquote pro-gun talking points rather than to debunk them.
Well, sure. Because they've already been debunked so many times. At least the conservative pro-gun talking points.
Right? You would think the appropriate response would be to debunk these talking points rather than to dismiss them. This is what they're actually recommending. After every mass shooting, predictable tropes and platitudes are trotted out like tired old show ponies. And are you tired of hearing our thoughts and prayers are with the families? Where would they be?
Stuck back up on your up inside of your ass. Thoughts and prayers do nothing.
Would they otherwise be? Ours has become a nation of empty thoughts and insincere prayers. Screw you. Just screw you. This is your way of just saying, like, these people are praying for these kids. So you don't...
Yeah, well, that doesn't help, though. Like, that's the whole point here, is that thoughts and prayers is an actually empty slogan for people that do not actually want to deal with the issue. That's what Mike Sanello or CaptainPhoenix here actually has a problem with. Or he doesn't seem to realize this.
Don't want them to pray for this kid? You want them to pray for the shooters? Screw you. Just screw you. We're not even...
if you don't pray for the kids, you have to pray for the shooter. Or you could just not pray and do some actual action.
Read this. It's not about guns. It's about mental health. Yes, and we went through the data last week. It's not about the guns. Here, let's zoom in so you guys can see this better. So I guess the citizens of every other country in the world have no mental health issues. Gaslight, because it's not no, it's significantly less. And yes, they do. They don't have West Baltimore. They don't have Southside Chicago.
Wait. What? What?
Significantly less. And yes, they do. They don't.
I have to... Wait, what?
Here, let's zoom in so you guys can see this better. So I guess the citizens of every other country in the world have no mental health issues. Gaslight.
Is the US the... Wait. Country with the most mental health issues. India is the most depressed country in the world, according to the WHO, followed by China and then the United States.
Because it's not no, it's significantly less. And yes, they do. They don't have West Baltimore. They don't have Southside Chicago. They don't have East St. Louis. They don't have the war zones I lived in Savannah, Georgia. They don't have that, not in the developed world. Though, again, so I guess the citizens of every other country, which would include places like Somalia, whose capital is Mogadishu, it would include places like Eritrea, would include places like Afghanistan, would include places like Suriname, would include places...
What?
Like the entire third world that makes up a...
Let's take a quick look at this link. I'm gonna have to cut this out of the video thing, probably, but...
I'll just have to try something desperate and crazy. So that's my story, Father Changstein El Gamal. Is there anything religion can do to help?
Well, we could join together in prayer.
Uh-huh. But is there anything useful we can do?
No.
Nice. What is he talking about? He's trying to pretend like no other country in the world has as much mental health issues as the United States.
Huge percentage of the world. So if we're going to compare ourselves to the rest of the world, if we're going to compare ourselves to, quote, every other country, end quote, the answer is yes, obviously they have serious mental issues in these other countries. There was a shooting that happened today in Nigeria. That's finally making news. Only in the United States has mental health.
There's a shooting that happened today. In where?
Today in Nigeria. That's
In Nigeria, that is finally making news. What? Wait, what?
finally making news.
Wait, how's the gun control in Nigeria?
Only in the United States has mental health become the excuse for mass murder. Because these guys are insane. Because these guys have serious mental health issues. And it's painfully obvious. We read their manifesto. Are you trying to tell us that these people are rational thinkers? That the
Well, I agree with that, but we also have insane people in other countries, and they don't really seem to shoot up their schools as much, for example, or black churches, or football games. I don't know.
rationales that they're providing for shooting up these schools are things that folks should somehow agree with. Please reject this NRA talking point for the smokescreen that it is, because it's true. Please.
No, because it's just, yeah, it is a smokescreen.
Please engage in 1984. And if it really were
Please engage. Oh my God.
as simple as getting ill people more services, as in institutionalizing them, why do the same politicians who refuse to regulate guns also tend to refuse to pay for mental health programs and social service safety nets? Bullshit. I'll say it, bullshit. We're the ones that are willing to have government run the mental institutions.
No. No, you're not. No. The right doesn't want the government to run shit.
We are willing to take out of our taxes. Go ahead. Put up Arkham Asylum. It's you guys that oppose that. It's you guys that oppose that. We're the ones that are saying you want to, if it costs a ton of money to have a guy, instead of being sentenced to 3 to 5, to be sentenced to 35, we're the ones that are in favor of that. You're the ones who are opposed to that. What an unbelievable gaslight. What a disgusting gaslight.
He's so mad.
Just because we don't want to pay for, and by the way, when they say mental health programs, they mean handouts. They mean give these people money.
Of course, yep. There it is. He's so mad.
Guess what?
I'm sure this was the way he sat in his home when him and I was going back and forth on Twitter. I'm 100% sure.
What happens when degenerates have money? Do they become no longer degenerates, or do they become degenerates which have money?
That's an interesting word to use. Okay.
Right? Like, one of the serious questions that our proverbial side is asking is, how did the kid in Uvalde manage to get those guns and ammo in the first place?
By the way, when we're talking about like mental health programs, I don't think the Democrats or the people on the left are talking about handouts. They're actually just talking about how you can go to like meetings and whatever, get a psychiatrist or psychologist. Yeah, this was a beautiful pause. Psychiatrist or psychologist to help out and to have someone to talk to, either like groups, one-on-one therapy, or school counselor or whatever, and maybe don't give them guns.
From the sheer economics of the thing, like, this cost thousands and thousands and thousands. Where did he get this money from? How in the world did he get this money? He was a degenerate who somehow came across money, and guess what? He shot up the school because he was a degenerate.
What do you mean by degenerate? That's very interesting. Okay.
And came across the money. Degenerate's gonna degenerate. Surprise of the year. If you give a degenerate money, all he becomes is a degenerate with money. Newsflash.
Okay.
But I'm a responsible gun owner. Yeah? Where the hell are you then? Behind the police line!
Oh, behind the police line, like the one in Texas, the Texas shooting, the Uvalde shooting, behind that police line.
Why, after every single mass shooting, is there total abject and cowardly silence from the so-called quote-unquote responsible gun owners? But again, what a disgusting gaslight. Because you know what we're saying? We're saying that if we were allowed to carry and we were already there in the first place, like a teacher who would be already there in the first place and who could be allowed to be there, like the janitors, like...
Arm the janitors. Yes.
You know, like the secretaries, like all of the adult human beings in that building who could be packing heat, who are already there.
It's just beautiful. I can just imagine like the janitor. Have you seen the Smells Like Nirvana skit, the parody that Weird Al did back in the day. There's like a janitor that picks up like a donut from his like janitor bucket thing. Imagine that just with a gun. Pulling out an AK-47 or an AR-15 from the broom closet.
You really is this really this is what this is saying is that the adults in the room who are watching this, you guys at home, they're telling you guys at home that you wouldn't have the guts to take your gun to the school and shoot this guy up. Bullshit.
I mean, they didn't.
Again, this is a disgusting smear and the exact opposite of what responsible gun owners are saying. Why are you not as outraged as those of us who do not own guns? Again, what this is saying is you're a Republican and you like guns, therefore you like school shootings.
Well, kind of, because it gives you guys an arena to fight for your own policies. So yeah, and the Republicans don't necessarily like, they never do shit to actually improve the situation. Like, not a single form of gun control was passed after the what is it? The Sandy Hook thing, where children died. Not a single piece of gun control was passed after that. And the United States has had like so many school shootings and so many mass shootings after. So
screw you. Like a giant screw you. What an evil piece of shit this guy is. And this is what the DTC is in agreement with, from what we can tell. He was a lone wolf who acted alone because there was.
Speaking of appropriate, smells like teen spirit starts with the lyric, "Load up your guns, bring your friends." Oh, I never thought about that.
One of them, because he was one.
Wait, what?
Agreement with, from what we can tell. He was a lone wolf who acted alone because there was one of them. Because he was one. Hello, because there was one guy who went to the school and shot it up. No, actually he didn't. And who's the other person? Name them. Name them.
They're not saying there were more than one person shooting. They're saying that there's like a culture that brings about these people. No, actually he didn't. He acted with the full and complete complicity of the cowards in the US Senate. Well, apparently here they're naming all of the people in the Senate who refused to bring up for a vote H.R. 8. This bill passed by the House in 2021 on a bipartisan basis, would simply close loopholes in current background checks laws. But language is in the U.S. Senate. Senator Mitch McConnell's inbox while kids continue to die. Yeah. I mean, Mitch McConnell is then one of the people that are named.
You evil piece of shit. He acted with the full and complete complicity of the cowards in the U.S. Senate who refused to bring up for a vote House Resolution 8, which wouldn't have done a goddamn thing to stop this. This bill passed by the House in 2021 on a bipartisan basis. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. I saw the vote count. You got like 8 Republicans to vote in favor.
Yeah, then that's bipartisan. Bipartisan means that there are not just Democrats voting for it, my friend.
Would simply close loopholes in current background checks. Bullshit. That's not what it would have done. We're gonna have to go over the House Resolution 8 in 2021 because that's just a disgusting smear of what it was going to do. But it languages in U.S. Senate Mitch McConnell's inbox.
It's a disgusting smear of what it was going to do. Did they smear it? What?
While kids continue to die. Fuck you. Like this is what the DTC is sharing. This is what they're in agreement with. This is an isolated incident, a tragedy. We went over the data. It is a tragedy. Are you telling me it's not a tragedy? Are you telling me you're in favor of this sort of thing? This is an isolated incident. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. These things are incredibly rare. And the type of shooting we saw in Uvalde is not what the normal school shooting looks like. For everyone who's saying, oh, there's 288 shootings a year or something like that. Yeah, like 278 of them are in ghettos. And we went over what those were like. We went over the raw data. It's gang violence.
Yeah, he's definitely not representing that fairly, but okay.
It's gang violence that you guys don't want to do anything about. That the measures that could be in place.
Well, they're trying to do something about it. What?
To get rid of these gangs that have worked in the past and continue to work in the rare places where they're ongoing. It's you guys that oppose them. None of these incidents is isolated. They're a daily part of American life.
Like Jimmy Dorange from him. Yeah, sort of. With the angry tone, it can sort of be like a Jimmy Dore thing, but this guy is like, even further away from coherent mindset.
And they're not tragedies. So Democrats like death.
No, tragedy. Let's see. Tragedy. A disastrous event, calamity, misfortune. You know, so that's basically, that's probably the version of tragedy that they're going against. Like, it's not a misfortune, it's not a tragedy, it's a conscious act of violence. So it's not that Democrats hate death. That's more like the Republican side of things that enjoys that part. It's that calling it a tragedy sort of takes away from the agency in this situation. It's the same thing with, like, when Breivik shot up Utøya in 2011. A lot of people in Norway are still calling it a tragedy. It's not a tragedy. It was a targeted offense against teenagers.
Democrats like I wish I could just copy and paste this. I wish I could copy the HAC leadership. If
You probably can.
you're watching this video, tell me why murdering kids is good.
They're not saying murdering kids.
They are not tragedies.
Yeah.
Tell me why they're not tragedies.
Oh, wait. Oh my god, it says so right after. A tragedy is something that cannot be prevented, like a hurricane or a flood. That they're telling you why it's not a tragedy. Oh my god.
Tragedies. Tell me why you like dead kids. A tragedy is something that cannot be prevented, like a hurricane or a flood. What a disgusting. Here we go. Double think. We're just using the 1984 play.
Let's see. Tragedy from Merriam-Webster. A disastrous event or a misfortune. Let's see. Calamity. An event or conjunction of events that causes an unfortunate or distressing result, bad luck, an unhappy situation, a distress. So I can sort of get why this feels like a weird thing. It's just like, yeah. Because technically, I guess technically, you can't say that they are tragedies because, like, definitionally, but the way people use that word, it sort of implies that a tragedy is, like they say, when a hurricane or a flood hits or something like that, whereas this is more a situation with where agency is involved. At that point, it sort of devalues the whole situation by calling it a tragedy. But yeah.
Playbook to redefine a word.
But it's not like a 1984 thing. It's just how we use words in daily life.
Suppose 19 kids in the same elementary school in your town suddenly and inexplicably died of the same kind of cancer. That would be a tragedy.
Yeah.
How could those kids have gotten that cancer in the first place?
But wait. It was a hypothetical, dude. Fucking calm down.
You get that? Would that get your attention? Again, fuck you. At this point, no longer is this a screw you. This guy is one of the most evil people on earth if he's espousing this nonsense.
I love this guy. I absolutely love this guy.
We never thought it would happen here because the data says so. I never thought I would win the Powerball jackpot because the odds are catastrophically against it. Why not? Why not here? Because the data said so.
No, the data doesn't say so. Like, the data doesn't say that. It says that mostly living in the US, you're safe from, like, a school shooter or whatever. But you should definitely... It's not impossible for it to happen. And you have heard enough about those stories to know that, well, it could definitely happen.
Because this is reality. And it will continue to happen here and here and here, and in all the little backwater, hard to pronounce, commonplace, poor, rich, barren, leafy, thriving, declining, tiny, huge, uniquely American here, stretching from Sandy Hook to Sacramento. Again, if this is true, then tell me why it's a good investment to invest in the Powerball. Tell me why that does.
What? Okay. Well, if there was a toxic industry next to a school, the kids might get cancer from that. Suddenly not a tragedy. But it... But something preventable. Yeah. And I guess I would still accept people calling that a tragedy. But it's just like, yeah. This is just like the definition of words fighting over that stuff. So that part is not as bad, and I don't understand why he's so ass mad about it, but that's okay, because I sort of explain in the article why they don't like to use that word. But yeah. So there's a difference here between the Powerball and school shootings. And that's the outcome of it. The outcome of a school shooting negatively outweighs the positive outcome of maybe winning the Powerball. And also, I have a feeling that winning the Powerball, there's a smaller chance of that happening than having a school shooting in an American school. But I'm not 100% sure. It depends on how many people play the Powerball, I guess.
A smart investment. Otherwise, this is just evil. This is just a conducting of evil.
The language when it's talking about evil, it's beautiful.
It will happen in your workplace, my school, our church, until we stop assuming it will only hit somewhere far away, somewhere we've never heard of, somewhere whose children have less value than our own. I'm pro-life and pro-gun. Oh my God, here this goes. If you are glad Roe v. Wade is about to get
is he going to go into anti-abortion?
overturned because you believe abortion is murder, I'm not even reading it. I know this is going to be a gaslight. What do you call it when that embryo eventually becomes a child, hopping down the steps of a school bus, lunch pail in tow, who enters a school, sits immediately in a chair and is shot dead when a madman bursts in the room? Not murder? No. Again. One is murder, the other one is murder. This is not the Republican talking point. This is not the right-wing talking point. This is not the libertarian talking point. This is not the people that are in the middle. This is not the Democrats who are like, you know what, guns really aren't the problem here. This isn't the Democrats like Destiny who say, well, the data says the gun isn't the problem.
Wait! Why did you call him Destiny? Again,
What they're trying to tell folks is that the folks that aren't in that wildly, ridiculously left-wing, tiny, pathetically narrow Overton window, that they believe the kids getting shot in school is not murder. This is the same people that said these things aren't tragedies.
I mean, they're not saying it's not murder, but they're not necessarily acting like it is.
Again, a big fuck you.
Like it is murder. Yeah.
And this is what the DTC is sharing. Not the taking of human life, not a sin against the eyes of God, not against your religious beliefs the way abortion is just an unfortunate byproduct of your freedom. No. It's a byproduct of insanity. It's a byproduct of evil, and is therefore evil. And you know this. You know it. The Second Amendment is my constitutional right, and you're coming for my guns. No, we're not. Yes, you are. Bullshit. I'm not even going to read the rest of this. But there's nothing I can do. Yes, there are things you can do, and we went over those things. And you oppose them.
Wait. They're not the ones saying it's nothing you can do. You guys are. Oh well. This guy's like my new favorite YouTuber. I love him. I actually really fucking enjoy this guy. Oh. It's so beautiful to see like actual brain rot at work.